Hey, Closeteers. Hey, I know it has been some time since I have posted a video in Closet Talk. And not just have I been busy, but I have been sick. I tested positive for COVID. Then I had a heart attack. Then I was diagnosed with pneumonia. So these last 3 weeks have been hard, to say the very least. It has been extremely hard. But this particular video is not to talk about that. I will do a video talking about my journey from near death to being well now, okay? I will do a video, I promise you. This particular video is to talk about being surrounded by people, yet feeling so alone, right? That's what this video is going to talk about. I was surrounded by my children, by my grandchildren, by my ex-husband, and yet I was working, and yet I felt so alone, so alone. When we migrated to Texas, let me put that into perspective for you. Though we were married in name, we were not together, right? If you've seen my past videos, you'll know that I actually left the marriage in 2013, right? And due to health reasons and things like that, I came back to help him, but not to be a couple. And that was something that I always stressed from the beginning, right? We even slept in separate bedrooms. We did not go into sleeping back into the bed together, sleeping back into the room together. We still had separate bedrooms, right? So in the decision to go to Texas, to make this decision, you guys, I had to decide to give up a mid-six-figure job and go into the absolute unknown and possibly end up financially beholden to a person who I didn't trust to have me, right? But at this time, I was a full-fledged practicing Christian, and I believed that I was being told spiritually to make this move. And I have to be totally honest with you, it was one of the best spiritual moves that I ever made. I learned things about myself, about Christianity that I would have never otherwise learned. So even though financially that move was devastating for me, spiritually, it was one of the greatest moves that I ever made, right? I have to find the value where the value is. And it was spiritually one of the greatest moves that I ever made because I began to trust myself more, right? I began to research what the faith that I was following and believing. So spiritually, I grew exponentially. So that value will always be associated with that particular move. Now, financially, it ruined me. I mean, ruined me financially. I was almost at an 800 FICO score. I stayed for 3 years. By the end of the 3 years, I was probably at a 500. It it just financially wreaked havoc on me. It was not a very financial savvy move, right? But in any event, what took place, not only spiritually did I grow, I'm sorry, um, finding myself, who I am and what I want to do. I grew that way as well. When I moved to Texas, I left the steamship world, right? And degreed up, I have 3 degrees. I was actually at that time working on my master's degree, which I did not finish. I have 6 classes. I had 5, but now, things change. So now I have 6 classes to finish that particular degree. Had graduated cum laude. But so when it comes to social justice, I've always fought for social justice, even coming up as a kid in Los Angeles during a time when they implemented the busing system, and I ended up being bused to white neighborhoods, right, to the valley. Even then, I was fighting for social justice. I didn't understand why I had to be bused to a better neighborhood to get an education through a system that was supposedly the same system, right? Where it's public school. Why do I have to go an hour away from home to get a better education through the same exact public school system? It didn't make sense to me, but what it did was it clearly indicated that there is systematic racism, because otherwise public school is public school funded by the public, right? And if public school is public school funded by the public, then the public school education should be the same across the board, right? And so I asked those kinds of questions, and I was in elementary school. And so I'm not new to social justice, and then having kids and grandkids, that just heightened my sense, or my awareness, if you would, of my blackness, right? So anyway, let's get back to where we were. So I've always been smart. I've always cared about the community that I live in. So when I got to Texas, and it became apparent that my experience did not transfer over into what Texas had, because the part of Texas that I moved to did not have a port. And that proved to be horrible when it came to looking for a job. So I was sitting on the couch one day, and I was lost, right? We're running through our savings. We moved to Texas with like $250,000. It's enough to buy a house in certain parts of Texas, but not the best house. And I wasn't quite sure if I was going to stay in Texas like that. So I didn't really want to purchase a home. So it was just basically living off savings. And I sat on the couch one day, and I had a conversation with God, and I was just open and honest in myself. And I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because part of the decision to move to Texas was also to turn over care of my children's father to them, right? To separate myself. And so I would, in fact, be alone. That's how, and of course, with my youngest son. So I said, okay, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know. I'm at this standstill. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have any expectations of my children to take care of me. One, I'm still young, I'm still vibrant, and I'm still an able-bodied person. I don't want to put that burden on them. They have their own families, right? At this time, my older 3 children my older two had children, and my third was expecting. So I don't want to be a burden on them. So what am I going to do? And then plus I have a teenage son who is in middle school, right? So what am I going to do? And so I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I promise you, it was like a computer downloading. My eye was twitching, and this whole entire storyline for Uncross the Church's Legs was playing out in my mind. So I had to hurry up and grab some paper and a pen, and I just started writing. And if you know the story of Uncross the Church's Legs, you know that that it came about as a play originally. So I'm writing the play, and once I was done, I looked and I said, you know, because the only kind of plays that I had ever seen or that I could remember were musicals. And I said, okay, well, God, you gave me a play, but I need music. Like, I need music. And just to add context to what I'm saying, I have never liked writing. So being a writer is something that never crossed my mind because I have never liked writing. Even in school, I did the bare minimum of writing to maintain my GPA, which was an A. But still, there was no, like, I didn't like writing. And so to first write a play was a big thing. And then to need to write music was an even bigger thing. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right here and then I'm gonna start another video.